This week I'm actually fishing with a good friend of mine. I've become pretty good friends with Captain JC Livingston since the last time we shot an episode together, which was Fishing Impossible 2. We had much nicer weather this time. I figured I would give both of us an opportunity to get even with the weather and actually fish during perfect weather. So we decided, hey, we can do a great show right here before this front shows up. And he goes, CA, I guarantee you, if we can get out there to these rocks, it's going to be one of those epic episodes for FlatsClass TV. I was like, let's do it. Dog it. JC, what have you done? Hard to believe it's Halloween already.
I know.
And with a shortened grouper season, FWC cutting it short, kind of gives those fish a respite a little bit so they're not getting beat on. We might have a good day, and a front arrives this afternoon. So what do you think the expectation will be?
Well, we're gonna stay in shallow, and part of this closure, that shallower bite's been a lot better this year than normal.
And when you say shallow, how shallow?
From 7 to 10 foot.
7 to 10 foot. That really doesn't give you a whole lot of time. Once the grouper comes off the rock pile, it doesn't give you much time to get him to the top, or he'll just rock you up.
Oh yeah, you got to have it locked down. Be ready for battle.
Yeah, I hope I'm ready for that.
You can get your stretches in.
First problem is we got to get through this fog. A lot of not only my friends and neighbors here where I live in Crystal River, but a lot of the guides that I'm friends with in other areas of the state, they always say, man, you guys have an incredible gag grouper fishery there inshore. You must love it. And the truth be known, I don't really target those gag groupers very often, especially with my own guys. I rely on the guys that know what they're doing. Guys like Captain JC Livingston, guys like Brandon Branch. It's a lot more technical than just throwing out a bat full of bait and then hooking some cut bait up or something and just chunking it in there and thinking you're gonna catch them. It's a lot more technical than that, especially when you do it with artificial lures. So I know I've done this enough times now where this is never a one-stop shop. Lots of times you're bumping around quite a bit.
Yeah, in the shallow water, usually you got to move around a little bit, find them better fish.
Yeah. There's so many targets on the bottom here.
There's so many.
They could swim 300 yards one way or the other on any given tide, and what was hot yesterday is not hot today.
May not be today. There we go.
I do like having a big stick. He's not a big fish.
No, but they still
I do like having a big stick. Woo! First run. Nice having a big rod. Yeah, I can remember when I used to like to make this sporting. No. You guys have taught me too many lessons
Look
up
at that
here
one. Hey,
doing
picture
this.
right there, picture right there. Look at them all, look at them all.
You got a bunch right there. Oh, that's a good fish.
That's a good one.
That is a good fish.
That one would probably go home if it was season. Yeah, that one would, he'd make the cut.
Yeah, he'd make the cut. That's a good fish.
You see that other one that was following him though?
I know, he was bigger. He was bigger, I noticed it.
They don't play, they go quick.
when you really look at basically the geology of this area with all the limestone and just the hard bottom that this area, the Nature Coast and Big Bend have, it makes it absolutely the perfect habitat for fish like gag grouper. It's not like they're on every rock pile that you come across out there, but when you find them, you really find them. I mean, and then you've got to have that type of equipment in your boat to be able to make it happen, because it can be tough. Oh, God. Got him on the second time. That's better. God, dog. I mean it.
That was better. Now you're really glad you got that heavier rod.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a toad. I'm guessing there were either two fish or this one just was hell bent. Wow. That was a head turner.
That one was a good one.
That one looks big with you holding it. Wow. Just wow.
They angry.
Might get a picture with you with that one.
Yeah.
You hold on to him. Nice.
Okay.
Whew. I thought he had me.
There's gonna be some more in there.
I thought he had me.
There's gonna be a couple more like that there.
Well, I've got to admit, I fish for an awful lot of species. I love going bone fishing. I love tarpon fishing. I love it more for my clients than I do myself. I love catching big speckled trout on Paul Brown lures, and I've always loved snook fishing. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is about as much fun as you could possibly have with your clothes on. Throwing lures to gag grouper and to be able to hit them and react, I mean, because they give you everything they have. And for about 3 or 4 minutes, you're thinking you have absolutely no chance.
Oh, get on to that one.
God dog it. JC, what have you done?
That one turned the boat sideways.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Got him off the rock pile, though. This one better be big. I'm gonna feel embarrassed.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. Woo! That thing whooped me. Oh, I couldn't imagine doing this with smaller gear. Couldn't imagine.
No.
Could not imagine. Could not imagine.
That one's got some girth to him.
That one's tall, back to belly. That's a duffel bag with fins.
Well, we'd be one away from going home.
Yeah, we would be. I like the catch and release
I
fishing.
did too.
It's pretty good. And you have one hell of a good fishery here. It's just amazing. Man, they have a fan for a tail.
Fan, buddy.
Woo. There's no holding on to them.
No, as soon as they touch the water.
No holding on to them. Get in there. I want you to feel some pain again.
I got the first good one.
Years ago, There was a lot of skill in understanding how you had to anchor up on these grouper holes and basically get the boat to set up in the wind, in the tide, and the current to just make it happen. But with the advent of these anchor lock trolling motors, especially the power pole move, it is just an absolute no-brainer. You can get set up just perfect where you want to be and then hit the anchor mode on the power pole move, and you are within a cast of making some of the best memories of your life.
Oh, right there, I lost him.
Followed it all the way off the rock. I can bass this one too. Maybe. So explain to me how they rock you up.
How?
Yeah, they get down there and they just kind of flare out.
Flare out their gills, and it's just, they'll get so wedged in there, you can't, no matter what you think, you ain't pulling them out.
Now, is there a trick to getting them out? I mean, is there one of those things where you can wait on slack line and get away from the...
I give them line and let them hang out and feel like they're back to being comfortable, and if I can, like, I'll give it 5 minutes and let it just sit in the rod holder. And then go back and try.
And sometimes they're out swimming around.
Sometimes they're swimming out again.
When you run offshore here on the Nature Coast, there's all kinds of possibilities. Whether you're fishing the rocks or you're fishing weed lines, I mean, you run into a lot of different species. Triple tail, kingfish, you name it. But even though we're focused on catching inshore grouper, you can almost count on another good fish to show up. It just happens every time we go. Here we go. Get out of the way.
I'm gonna pray that that's a...
What?
It's a cobia.
What? 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 He got a cob. Nice. You never know what you're gonna catch.
No, you don't.
At least you got the stick for it.
Yeah.
I don't have the big net or the boga grip.
On the Mullotron.
On the Mullotron. Well, that's kind of bycatch you like to have happen.
Yeah.
And the Mullotron did exactly with the line through. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. Takes all the weight out. See if he's gonna beat me up.
He's gonna beat you up. I'm in free spool, so.
In this particular instance, when you're fishing for inshore gag groupers, these fish are so tenacious, so aggressive. I call them the Pitbulls of the inshore rocks. They are mean and tough. It's the one time though where they're a little bit more vulnerable to artificial lures for catching them than they are live bait. When you're putting down a live bait out there and that fish comes out there gently, picks it up and then runs right up back under the ledge, you have zero chance. You have less than 3 seconds to react. But with an artificial lure, especially a big swim bait like we were throwing those Z-Man Hercules swim baits, you make that cast and you swim it over the rocks and he starts following it. Now he gets maybe 8, 10, 12 feet away from his lair. And now you got 3 seconds to get him before he can get back to that ledge or underneath that rock. Are there specific lure colors that work better than others that you have found doing this for so long?
Yeah, there's a few. And that one's kicking my tail. Obviously a natural mullet color.
Bad shad.
Bad shad.
Bad shad in the Hercules.
That one's feeling pretty good. He just woke up a little more.
I think I'm just getting weaker.
No, that's a good one. A real good one.
Oh, come on, dude. I got more of these colors in there. Look at the blue edge on that. And we're just a couple of miles off the coast. It's not like we're 30 miles out. He was hooked up good.
Uh-huh, that big hook they got on these baits.
It's an 8/0 Mustad hook. I mean, they build quite the frame for this bait and it delivers.
I mean, that's another 28.
Yeah, another potty belly, rusty
That's right,
belly.
Rusty belly. Whew, not bad for a 9.5 foot.
Just beautiful fish. Absolutely beautiful fish.
Well, I'm about done getting soaked by them, so we're giving them the old pitch and go.
And I mean, they hit that water and they sound right to the bottom that quick.
Like a bullet.
I feel like I've been rearranging the furniture out in this one a little bit.
Well, keep going. I know CA likes to work out, and I passed them the other morning leaving the gym, and this is how this whole kind of grouper episode kind of took place. And I was asking him if he was strong enough to pull on a few, and sure enough, he held his own. He almost got pulled over the side for a minute.
Dude, I thought he was gonna take me to my knees. Come on, buddy. You may have put me on my last one today here. This one's hurting me. Need to bring a first aid kit on these trips.
Hey, every now and then.
Loaded with Tylenol.
I like that lead to last all day.
Oh, man. Where are you? Here he comes, a big one. Might be the biggest of the day.
That is a big one.
Might even get my picture taken with this one. Oh, man, what a giant. Sure it's not a Goliath?
No.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. That. Woo. That's the way you end the day.
There's your 20. Oh, that's your upper.
Yeah, no kidding. Who needs a gym membership with these guys? That is something else.
Oh, he's solid, buddy.
That is a toad. That's a duffel bag or a steamer trunk with fins.
That's what you call steroids.
Yeah, get it like that. I can hold them a little easier.
You ready? 1, 2. That's what I'm talking about. I had to slow it down just a little bit more.
When you catch them like this, it's about time to think about heading back to the plantation.
You ain't lying.
After living up here for a couple of years and spending time with different captains, JC and I have become better friends. And he's just one of those native guides here that kind of does everything. I mean, he duck hunts, he turkey hunts, he fishes for grouper, tarpon on fly. I mean, he really does about as much as you could possibly do as an outdoorsman. And we had such a challenge when we tried to film together last season in that Fishing Impossible 2 episode. I just wanted to round it out and say, let's try this again. Let's try this again in your backyard where it's going to work out on a good weather day. And we're right here in the heart of grouper season when it's just on fire at the end of October. And lo and behold, we got the right day just before the front got here, and we made it happen. All right, you saw the hand-to-hand combat that took place on the boat today. You have to have stout enough gear to turn these fish around. So I want to break it down for you. First, let's talk about some of the baits. Probably the star of this episode had to be the 6-inch Hercules minnow. Now this is a 1-ounce integrated swim bait from Z-Man, and it's got an 8/0 mustad hook that I swear to you, you cannot straighten it out. When you're fishing for the Pitbulls of the rocks, you got to have a bait that is built to last, and this one truly is. Now, we did take a chance and we wanted to throw the Mullotron. This is a brand new bait that was released at iCast, so we had to make a little bit longer cast with it and really work it along the sweep to try to get a grouper to hit it. Now, JC, I think he caught a small grouper or two on it, but because it was riding higher over the rocks, the cobia loved this thing. And you saw what was next. He was coming out of the water. It was a really nice bait for that. And I love this bait for snook as well. I've got a Saragossa 10,000 here, packed with 50-pound diamond braid. I also put on 50-pound Illusion fluorocarbon, and I want you to come in and take a tighter look at this before I let you get away from me and show you the abrasion resistance of this particular fluorocarbon, because it made a huge difference in our catch ratio. Those are the same types of techniques and strategies that I use for tarpon. These are tarpon setups that we were fishing for these inshore grouper. And as you saw, I was very glad to have them. So if you ever think that you want to make your way up to the Nature Coast, to the Big Bend area, to tangle with some of these inshore Pitbulls, the gag grouper, make sure you go with a qualified guide, because I'm telling you, not everyone can put you on them like Captain JC Livingston did for us today.